भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो 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 भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Let's do together the Mangalacharan prayers. Om
ओम
Ajnanatimidandasya
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
Jnananjana
जनशलाकया
Chakshurunmilitam
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन
Tasmai
तस्मै
Shri
श्रीगुरवे
Namaha
नमः।
Shri Chaitanyamanovistam
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
Sthapitam
स्थापितं
Yena
येन
Bhutale
भूतले
Swayam
स्वयं
Rupa
रूपं
Tadamaya
रामय्यं
Tadati
ददाति
Swapadantikam
स्वपदान्तिकम्।
Vandeham
वन्देऽहं
Shri
श्रीगुरो
Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
Shri Gurun
श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च
Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam
श्रीरूपं
Sagrajatam
साग्रजातं
Sahagana Raghunathanvitam
रघुनाथान्वितं तं
Tam Sajivam
सजीवम्
Sadvaitam
साद्वैतं
Savadutam
सावधूतं
Parijana Sahitam
परिजनसहितं
Krishna Chaitanya Devam
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम्
Shri Radha Krishna
श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां
Padam Sahagana
सगणललित
Lalita Shri
श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च
Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna
श्रीकृष्णकरुणा
Sindhu
सिन्धौ
Dinabandho
दीनबन्धो
Jagapate
जगत्पते गोपेश
Gopesha Gopika
गोपिकान्त
Kanta Radha
राधाकान्त
Kanta
नमोऽस्तु ते
Tapta Kanchana
काञ्चन गौराङ्गी
Gaurani Radhe
राधे
Vrindavaneshwari
वृन्दावनेश्वरी
Vrishabhanu Sute
वृषभानुसुते
Devi
देवी
Pranamami
प्रणमामि
Haripriye
हरिप्रिये
Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
Kripa
कृपा
Sindhubhya
सिन्धुभ्येव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः।
नमो विष्णुपादाय
विष्णुपादाय
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
कृष्णपृष्ठाय
भूतले
भूतले
श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामी
स्वामीनिति
नामिने
नामिने।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वते
सरस्वते
देवे
देवे
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेषशून्यवादी
निर्विशेषशून्यवादी
पाश्चात्य
पाश्चात्याचार्यवादी।
जय
जय
श्री
श्री
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
चैतन्य
चैतन्य
प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर
गदाधर
श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद।
गौरभक्तवृंद हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे
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 राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
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 हरे।
श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय
जय
श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्णा राजेश प्रभु।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
हरे
everybody.
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Okay, so we are reading from chapter number 9, most confidential knowledge, and it is the most confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya, Rajaguhyam. So we started in the beginning that Krishna says to Arjuna, I'm going to give you this most confidential knowledge. Why? Because you are not envious of me. You are never envious of me. Anasuyave. And then he claims that this is the king of all the education, Raja Vidya. And it is king of all the secrets, Rajaguhyam. And this is the purest knowledge, Pavitram. And this is received, gives direct perception of the self. Susukham, and it is everlasting and joyfully performed. Susukham kartum avyayam. And then we learn that why Shraddha is very, very important when we are getting this knowledge. Actually, for everything we need Shraddha, some Shraddha, but particularly when we are learning about the spiritual knowledge, our own self, who we are, who is God, and what is our relationship with Him, and what is our duty with for Him, then Shraddha is very, very important. If we don't have Shraddha, Ashraddha Dhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa, Krishna says, Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani, that they don't attain me, they remain in this cycle of birth and death. They come back again and again in this cycle of birth and death. And then last week we read some very confidential information about Krishna. He says that Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. That by me, in my mind, unmanifested form, avyakta murtina, I pervade this whole entire universe. Everything is in me, but I am not in them. So when he says that I am not in them, that means he is present through his energy, but he is also separate from this. He is also outside the universe. That's why he is not part of this material creation. And how can we understand this? Yes, then he says, yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. This my opulence is so uh, great and so mysterious that behold this, try to understand this. Although I am the maintainer of all the living entities and I'm in everything and everywhere, but I am not the part of this cosmic manifestation. या मटेरियल जगतातला मी एक जसे बाकीचे जीव इथे जन्म घेतात तसा मी नाहीये. मी याच्या करता करविता आहे किंवा याचा जो हे जे सगळं घडतंय ते माझ्या याच्यानेच अध्यक्षतेखालीच घडतंय आणि मी याच्यापासून अलिप्त आहे पूर्ण. आणि जरी मी इथे येत असलो या जगात दिसत असलो तरी मी या जगाचा भाग नाहीये. So he's not taking birth just like us in this material world. So let's read this 6th verse now. He continues that opulence, describing his opulence then. So he says, so let's recite the verse. Yatha
यथा
Akasha
आकाश
Stitaha Sthito
स्थितो
Nityam
नित्यं
Vayuhu
वायुः
Sarvatra Go
सर्वत्र गो
Mahan
महान्
तथा
तथा
सर्वाणि
सर्वाणि
भूतानि
भूतानि
मत्स्थानि
मत्स्थानि
इति
इति
उपधारय
उपधारय
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय.
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय
चंद्रकांत प्रभु.
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
यथाकाशस्थितो
नित्यं
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
वायुः
सर्वत्र गो महान्
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
तथा
सर्वाणि भूतानि
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय.
किरण प्रभु.
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान्
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
मतस्तत्यानि उपधारय
मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय.
Thank you, Kiran Prabhu. So word for word meaning is yatha means just as, akasha sthitah situated in sky, nityam means always, vayuh means the wind or air, sarvatra gah means blowing everywhere, Ga means going and Sarvatra means everywhere. So it is Vayu because it is Vayu, it's blowing everywhere. Mahan means great. Tatha means similarly. Sarvani Bhutani, all the created beings. Mat Sthani, situated in me. Iti means thus. Upadharaya, try to understand. Now he is explaining to Arjuna further how he is everywhere. So he is giving some example which we can from materialistic point of view perceive or understand. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So we understand the five elements, right? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So ether is also called as Akash or space. So space is nothing but which accommodates everything, all other elements. So even though the air or wind may be very powerful, because we learned in the sixth chapter, Arjuna says, Chanchal hi manab Krishna pramathi balavatruram and vayor ivasa dushkaram. To control the mind is so flickering and so strong that to control the mind is very difficult, just like controlling the wind. Once we may be able to control the wind, but controlling mind is very difficult. So that just an example comparison given. So Vayu or wind is considered very, very strong. It cannot be controlled when it is really powerful. But wind still will never go outside the space, because space is what is covering everything. Space is accommodating everything. So what he is saying is Yatha Akasha Sthito Nityam Vayu Sarvatra Guman. Even though Vayu can go everywhere, but it is always situated in space, situated in Akash. Tatha, in the same manner, Sarvani Bhutani, all the living entities, all the created beings, Matsthani, they always live in me. Iti upadharaya. Try to understand this. So all the created beings always live in Krishna. So in Krishna, we learned the three aspects of realizing God: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So Brahman is his spiritual or the energy aspect, which is spread everywhere. So in his Brahman aspect, all the creation, everything that is created, spiritual or material or all subtle or gross, everything is in this Brahman, in the effulgence of God. But he's outside it. So he, even though sometimes he enters in this, he is not part of this creation. And the example Prabhupada sometimes give is just like a president may sometimes visit a jail, and he will visit different prisoners or jailer or other things just to make sure that everything is going nicely. So the prisoners are also in the jail, and the president can also be sometimes in the jail. So are they the same? The prisoners are in the prison only because they are confined in that place for whatever reason. But president comes on his own accord to the prison, and so the prisoner must not feel that, oh, he's just like us, he's also in the prison, so we are the same. So in the same manner, this material creation, the living entities think that when Krishna comes here in different avatars, different incarnations at different times, he's just like us, he's also like us, and oh, he's also facing all the issues like us. That is not the case. That's what Krishna is saying here, that everything is in me, but I am not in there. I am not part of this whole creation. So let's read the purport and then we can discuss a little bit more. So Rajesh Anantaraman Prabhu, you want to read
Yes.
the purport?
For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive. And in the sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the supreme personality of God. Thus, everything is moving under His will. By His will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, He is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Yad Bisha, Yad Bisha Vata Pavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1. In the Radhā-Rañjana Upanishad 3.8.9, it is stated, Etasya va aksharasya prasanne prashasane gargi surya chandramasau vitarto tishtata etasya vidarto na
Vidrito.
विदुर्दौ तिष्ठत एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रसादने गर्गिद्वैद्यव अप्रत्यौ विदृतौ तिष्ठतः. By the supreme order, under the superintendence of the supreme personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and the other great planets are moving. In the Brahma Samhita 5.52, it is also stated, Yat chakshur esa savita sakala grahanam Raja Samastasura Murtir Ashesha Tejaha Yasya Jnaya Brahmati Sambharta Kala Chakro Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Oh wow. This is the description of the movement of the sun. It is said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord, and that it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in its prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So from the Vedic literature, we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to us to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the later verses of the chapter.
Thank you so much, Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sunil Prabhu. Thank you for making it. So, we are continuing to discuss 9th chapter, and we are discussing 6th verse. So,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So as Krishna is saying, Yatha Akasha Sthito Nityam Vayu Sarvatra Gomahan Tatha Sarvani Bhutani Matsthani Upadaraya. Just like the wind, even though it is great, it is always situated in the sky. In the same manner, all the created beings are always situated in me, Matsthani.
Yes.
This is how you should understand. And Prabhupada quotes then, this is of course, because we always try to see things based on our experience. And we probably discussed this several times, that it is called in our Shastra, Kupamandukamati. The intelligence of a frog in a whale cannot go beyond the perception of the whales. We all know the story that when a frog was told there is some big ocean outside there in the world. So he was always thinking, oh, how big is this? My whale is like 10 feet. So it is like 100 feet, or it is 1,000 feet, or come on, it is not more than that, or something like that. So our perception is like that. We are always trying to see it from our experience, everything. But because Lord's potency, his energy is inconceivable, achintya, it's beyond our conception how this whole thing works. So how this whole huge material creation is resting in him. That's why when we think there is a person, we always think of our size. कितना मैं 6 फुट हो 7 फुट होगा 9 फुट होगा ज्यादा से ज्यादा कितना बड़ा होगा. That's how we may perceive. But when Krishna says, oh, this is everything in me, wow, this whole creation, whole universe of multiple galaxies, and he's saying it is in him, I cannot believe this. That's how we think. But he's trying to explain that, so that giving us example how everything is situated in him. And he says that not only one universe, billions of universes like this are in me. So that is inconceivable. That something is beyond our conception, but he is claiming that, and it is specified in many places in the Vedic literature. And Gita is a sar of that. Gita Upanishad, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Go Gita Amrutam Mahat. Just because we are referring to Gita now, I just brought this up. So all the Upanishads, all the Vedic literatures, and their sar is in Upanishad, and this Upanishad are considered as a cow. Sarvopanishado Gao. Gao means cow. So cow is the considered as all the Vedic literature and all the knowledge and all the Upanishads. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopalanandana. And Dogdha means the milkman who is milking the cow. He's Gopalanandana, he's Nanda Gopal, he's Krishna himself. So he's the one who is milking that cow, and Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Partha, Arjuna is like a Vatsa or calf. So anytime when we milk a cow anywhere, I think I saw in childhood or in general, we also
Yes.
know, we have to bring the calf so that the cow can give milk, and the calf is fed enough, and then the remaining what milk that cow gives, that we use for our purpose. So in the same manner, Arjuna has become that cause to milk that cow so that this Dogdha Gopalanandana and Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahat Sudhira. So this milk that is coming, this nectar of Gita, Dugdham Gita Amrutam Mahat, this great nectar of Gita Amruta, that is coming in the form of milk of that cow, of the Vedic literature, when the calf like Arjuna is come together. So Arjuna is for our benefit. That when that calf comes, then only that cow gives milk. And this milk or this nectar is relished by Sudhira, very self-realized person. Only they can understand this. So Krishna is milking this Veda Rupi cow, or the knowledge Veda Upanishad Sarvansa Sarje. He's milking that, and that essence he's bringing and giving us in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Just because that thought came to my mind, I thought it will be great to share. And this is said by Adi Shankaracharya in his Gita Mahatmya.
Yes.
So that Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic knowledge. And we are so fortunate that Lord Krishna himself is sharing this Gita Amrut with us. And this is available to everybody, but only the most intelligent person can take this from proper source. So what Krishna is saying here, that the sky may be the biggest manifestation, but it covers the wind. Wind may be the great, but it cannot go beyond the sky. It is always contained in the sky. Everything is in the sky. So, and the movement of air influences movement of everything. So everything is going on such a nice order in this whole universe, the whole creation. There is nothing. There are no straight lights when in the orbit, all the planetary systems are moving, but they are still moving such a nice way that we can predict this. We can predict when the sun will rise on a certain day of a certain season. We can predict when the next solar eclipse will happen. We can predict when the next lunar eclipse will happen. Nothing changes. This is such a nicely working, perfect way. And Krishna says that this is happening by my order. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. And everything is contained within that space. And that space is contained by me, by my energy, by Brahman. So that's what he's trying to say this. This is Krishna's opulence. This is Aishwarya. This is beyond our understanding, beyond our conception. This is inconceivable. That is Achintya. But then somebody may say, oh, Krishna was born 5,000 years ago to Vasudeva and Devaki. He was just like born like any other child, and he lived like 120 or some odd years, and then he died. He died. What's how can he can have all these opulence? How can he say that he is inside him? So he says that even though I come sometimes here, I'm not part of this creation. I just come here to give this knowledge. We read in the fourth chapter, right? Uh, what is that verse? I'm forgetting now. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujami aham. That I come here, srujami aham. I come here every time. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani.
Dharma is effect.
So dharma is declining and adharma is increasing. Then I come in my original form. Why? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. To establish that dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I come millennium after millennium. So that is the purpose he come. He is not part of this creation. He is not forced to come, just like us. We don't know why we have to take birth. We were forced to take birth. We don't know when we are going to die. We don't know what we are going to do. We are forced to do things. He's not. He just comes on his own accord. He performs his pastimes. He gives he does many things. He gives so many lila so that his devotees can relish. He, as a cleaning process, he kills so many demons. As a dharma establishment process, he gives this knowledge in the form of BhagavadGita, and then he departs and then he performs the same pastime in some other universe. So these pastimes, what he's doing, these leelas he's performing, are eternal. Even at this same moment, Krishna is killing Putna in some other universe. Krishna is killing Kaliya in some other universe. Krishna is giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in some other universe. This is eternal. Just like at this time, it is 10 o'clock approximately here, sun is rising in some other part of the world.
Yes.
Because it is dark here does not mean it's dark everywhere. Sun is rising some other part of the world. It is setting in some other part of the world. It is midday at some other part of the world. It is giving hits at some other part of the world. So that doesn't mean that sun is gone because I see dark here. Sun is gone. So there is no sun. That's just an example. So in the same manner, Krishna's pastimes are happening eternally in some part of some other universe. They are eternal. So he says that thus everything is moving under his will. Under his will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated at certain point. This creation, maintenance, and annihilation is happening over and over and over and over again and again. But he's still aloof from everything as the sky is aloof from the activities of the wind. Just because wind is blowing, that doesn't mean sky is agitated. No, sky is just occupying the space. Akash is just occupying the space. And then Prabhupada gives a couple of Upanishads verses here that it is out of the fear of Supreme Lord, the wind is blowing. Actually, this is similar verse that in the Bhagavatam, when Lord Kapila, when he is giving knowledge to Devahuti, he says that, let's go to that verse, I had it open. So he says, Mad bhayad vati vatoyam, suryastapati mad bhayad, varshati indra, dahati agnir, mrityushcharati mad bhayad. Mad bhayad, everybody, all these devatas, they are working actually under my fear. Because of my fear. Mad bhayad vati vatoyam. The wind is blowing because of my fear. Mad bhayad. Suryastapati mad bhayad. The sun is giving heat and energy just because of my fear, under my order. Varshati Indra. Indra is giving rain. Dahati Agnir. And Agni is burning. Agni is giving fire. And Mrityu charati, and Mrityu, Yamadev, is going and taking lives of other people. Why? Madbhayat. Under my control, because I am the one who is superior to them. They are working under my control. So all of them, they are working because of, and that fear is like fear of obedient child. Just like obedient child, even though has a loving relationship with father, but he has that what we call in Marathi adar yukta biti. So that because of that fear of respectful fear, he's working and following the orders of his father, a disciplined child. In the same manner, all these devatas are working under the direction of Krishna. So he says that it is because of my supremacy that wind blows out of fear of me. The sun shines out of fear of me. The Lord of clouds, Indra, sends forth showers or rains out of fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me, and the death goes on taking its toll. It goes on taking its lives out of fear of me. That's what Kapil Dev, when Krishna comes as Kapil Dev, when he's instructing to his mother Devavati in the third canto, 25th chapter, 42nd verse, he says. This is very, very beautiful chapter, actually instructive. The title of the chapter is itself is how devotional service is established, the glories of devotional service, in which Krishna in the form of uh, Kapil Dev is instructing his mother Devavati and glorifying why bhakti to Krishna or bhakti to any form of Vishnu Tattva is very, very important. Only by bhakti one can understand God, not by any other process. So coming back to today's verse, so that's what this is here. It is out of my fear. The Prabhupada quotes the Taittiriya Upanishad. It is the same thing. Out of fear of the Supreme Lord, the wind is blowing. Or even the other Radhā-Rañjana Upanishad he is mentioning here. By the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, the other great planets are moving. Even in the 15th chapter, Krishna says, Gama Vishyach Bhutani Dharayami Aham Ojasa. This all the planets, I keep them in their orbit. They are working because of my control. All these planets are kept in their orbit because of me. And here Prabhupada again quotes one very beautiful verse from Brahma Samhita. Yat chakshur esha savita. Savita means sun, chakshu means eye. And his ya means he's referring this to Krishna. His Brahma is offering prayers to Lord Krishna when he is born. He first thing he says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. That Ishvara Parama, the supreme Ishvara is who? Supreme control is who? Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna. And he has a form, Satchidananda Vigraha. He has a form. He is not nirakar. He has a akar, but his akar is not material akar. His akar, his vigraha is Sat Chit Ananda. His spiritual form is Sat, eternal, Chit, fully cognizant, full of knowledge, and Ananda, completely blissful. Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadi, he doesn't have any origin because he is Adi. He is the origin of everything. So no, he has no creator because he is the creator of everything. Anadi Radir Govinda. And he is the one who gives pleasure to Surabhi cows, who gives pleasure to different planetary systems. He gives pleasure to the senses. Go also means cow, go also means senses, go also means these different planets like Vasudha or Earth. So he's the one who gives pleasure to all these. Govinda. And Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So everything that is happening everywhere, either in the material world or in the spiritual world, he is the cause of everything. And everything, as if we analyze this world, everything happening around us, everything has a cause and effect. There is no such thing as automatic. As soon as we say automatic, We just have to understand we don't really know the cause behind it. That's why it is because it is beyond our conception, we call it automatic. But there is always some cause for every effect that takes place in this material world. So that's where he says, yeah, means whose? He's referring to Krishna. Chakshur, his eye is what? Esha, Savita, the sun. Yet Chakshuresha Savita. And who is the Surya? Sakala Grahanam Raja. He is the king of all the planets. Samasta Suramurti Ashesha Teja. And he is the supreme of all the suras. And then Ashesha Teja. He has unlimited Tej. Even the scientists are trying to understand, because everything in any fire we set here on earth, it burns for some time and it is extinguished over a period of time. But sun has been burning for millions and trillions of years. We don't know how much life of sun is. They are still calculating. They have calculated some numbers, but then those theories keep changing. But he is ever burning. Imagine in summer days, on a sunny day, on a hot day, we feel the heat of that sun and we cannot bear it here. That sun is millions of years, miles away from us. That heat, imagine how much heat is. So Ashesha Teja and Yasyagnaya Brahmati Samvrita Kala Chakro. He is Brahmati Kala Chakro. His sun also has its own orbit in the universe. He is rotating. He is running around the center of the universe that is called Dhruva. So everything is turning around this. There is a Sumeru mountain that is given description in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Or even the sun is rotating around this. Yasyagnaya. But how is he rotating? By his Agnya. Not on his own whim. Whose Agnya? Krishna's Agnya. He is referring to Krishna. Yasyagnaya Brahmati. And because of his rotation, Kala Chakra is happening. The time is moving. Every day sunrises and sunsets, it is called one day, and we lose one day of our life. With every sunrise and every sunset, we are losing one day of our life. And just a reminder for all of us, our life is not unlimited. So every sunrise and every sunset, we are losing one time. So that's how this Kala Chakra is moving, because of movement of the sun. And to that Govinda, Adi Purusha, Aham Bhajami. That's what Brahmaji says. Govinda Adi Purusham, Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship you, O Lord Govinda. Hey Krishna. So that Krishna we are talking about, that Krishna himself is giving us his opulence and giving us this knowledge in the form of BhagavadGita. So I'll stop here, but this is just to give some conception of how great God is, and then when he's saying that everything is in me, but I am not in them, how we can try to understand that. So any thoughts or reflections, Prabhu?
Late Brahmi Prabhuji.
Not, we have a few minutes, so let's read the next verse. I think next verse is in connection and it has a small purport, and it is also similar, so we can read this and then take final reflections.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9:7. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya
Sarvabhutani Kaunteya
Prakriti Yanti Mamikam
Prakrutim Yanti
Yanti
Mamikam
Kalpakshay Punasthani
Kalpakshaye
Kalpakshaye
Punastani
Punastani
Kalpada Visrujamyaham
Kalpadau Visrujamyaham
Visrujanyam
Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya
Sarvabhutani Kaunteya
Prakritim Yanti Mamikam
Prakrutim Yanti
Yanti
Mamikam
Mamikam
Kalpakshay Punasthani
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
कल्पादविसृजाम्यहम्
कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्
Sunil Prabhu, you want to recite the verse?
हो
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्
कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्
Thank you, Kantali Mataji. Sunil Prabhu.
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
कल्पादो विसृजाम्यहम्
कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्.
Thank you, Sunil Prabhu. So, word for word meaning is Sarva Bhutani means all created entities, all living entities. Kaunteya means son of Kunti. He is referring to Arjuna here. Prakritim means nature. Yanti means enter. Mamikam means my. Kalpakshay means at the end of the millennium. Now, Kalpa is the unit that is called 1 day of Brahma. And we heard one Kalpa means 1 day of Brahma, Kalpa. And then we read in the 8th chapter that Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu. So Brahma's day is equivalent to one Kalpa is equivalent to 1000 Divya Yugas of our earthly planet. Means Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. These four, including, becomes 1 day yoga, and 1000 of like this makes one kalpa. And that is one yuga, Divya Yuga is 4.32 million years, and 1000 times that is 4.32 billion solar years is one kalpa. So just to refresh those memories, kalpakshay at the end of the kalpa or millennium. Puna means again. Tani means all those. He's talking about living entities. Tani. Kalpa Adau in the beginning of the next millennium. In the beginning of the millennium. Brahma's next day. Visrajami. I create. Aham. I. So what he's saying is that everything, he first said that, oh, everything is in me, but I am not in them. Just like Vayu remains in the space. Yatha Akasha Sthito Nityam. So Akashat Vayu तसं सगळं माझ्यात राहतं. And then he further is now saying, O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. कल्पक्षय कल्पाचा जेव्हा क्षय होतो म्हणजे कल्प जेव्हा संपतो दिवस संपतो जेव्हा रात्र होते तसा प्रकार आहे हा आणि दिवस जसा परत सुरू होतो तर दिवस ब्रह्माचा जेव्हा दिवस संपतो कल्पक्षय what happens all the material manifestations everything that is being created all universes material creation living entities all the material elements everything enter into my nature they become unmanifest they go into dormant and at the beginning of another millennium, when the next new day of Brahma starts after his night, then by my potency, I create them again. So everything becomes manifest. All the living entities again take birth, with their past karma balance, whatever they have in universes, and they continue to live in the cycle of birth and death until they get free from this. So this is the whole story is explaining again after we first read in the 8th chapter. Is he again explaining after he explains his Aishwarya. So let's read the purport. Chandrakant Prabhu, you want to read the purport?
The creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead. At the end of the millennium, means at the death of Brahma, Brahma lives for 100 years and his one day is calculated at 4,300,000. No, 4.3 billion, right, of
Yes.
our earthly years. His night is of the same duration. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his year of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. Then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by His will. Bahusayam. Although I am one, I shall become many. This is the Vedic aphorism. Chandogya Upanishad 6 to 3. He expands himself in the material energy and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place.
Yep. So the creation process he explains in the very short here. Again, so he gives the life, Prabhupada is giving Brahma's life just to give us an idea how big Brahma's life is, because beyond our conception. So his one day is 4.32 billion years, B boy, and then same is his night, so twice 8.64 billion. That is his one day, day and night, and such 30 days is his month, such 12 months is his 1 year, and he lives for his 100 years.
100.
So, and then he dies. So it is beyond our conception how long is Brahma's life, and in that duration, how many times we come and go back. And so one thing to understand from this timeline or calculation, that time is eternal, and we are in this creation for time immemorial, for we don't know how long. We have no idea how many births we have taken, how many deaths we have experienced, and so on and so forth. And we are trying to get happiness or search for happiness in this time after time after time, birth after birth after birth. And we are being frustrated here. And that's what Krishna is slowly giving this knowledge to us, and he gives us the path to escape from this also. And he says, now you have taken this human form of life in which you can have access to this knowledge. Imagine, we cannot teach Bhagavad Gita to a cat or a dog or a pig or any other animal. It is not meant for them. It is for human beings. And if we are not utilizing the human form of life to gain this knowledge, we are not different from those animals. We are just living polished animalistic life, two-legged animals.
Yes.
Just not knowing what is the goal of life, just doing the same thing all these animals are doing. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha. They eat, we also eat. We may say, oh, I eat in a nice plate and very nice food, but they derive the same happiness by eating what they eat, and we derive the same happiness and nourishment what we eat. Or rather, we are not even getting nourishment these days. The food is so degraded. So that nourishment is also gone. So, but it's the same type of happiness. Ahara, nidra, we need sleep. They also need sleep. They need rest. We need rest for recuperation of the body. We need rest. The body needs rest. Our mind, everything needs rest. So that is common. Ahara nidra. Bhaya, they have their own defense system. They have their claws, their teeth. They are some different. Some chameleon may change his color so that he can blend, so that he is afraid of something. Every animal has their own defense system. We have our own defense system. We have built armies. We have built so many forces. We have insurances, so many. But still, so we have our own defense system, bhaya, because we are afraid. And Maithunam, they also procreate, we also procreate. They give birth to children, we give birth to children. What's the difference? So everything is common. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha. Samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. But there is one difference. Dharmo hi tesham eko vishesho. There is one vishesh thing, one very special thing that human being can do. He can inquire why I am here, why I am born.
Yes.
Where am I going to go? Where did I come from? Where was I? And why I am going through this? These things only in human formula of life we can inquire. And what is my real duty? Is it just like the animals are doing, eating, sleeping, mating, defying? Is that all? So I give birth to some children, they get married, then one day I get old and I die. That's it. Or there is something more. And this inquiry only in the human form of life we do. So dharmo hi tesham eko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi samana. And if one does not inquire this, he is nothing but a pashu.
Yes.
Even though he may have this human form of life, he has intelligence, he has all the skills, everything, all facilities, but he is nothing but an animal. That's what Shastra says. So we have to make really good use of this human form of life, and Krishna has given this knowledge, and our acharyas have taken so much pain and so much effort to give us this knowledge. And for us, it is very easily available. We should try to learn this. We should inquire this, spend some time, make this priority. Other things come and go. But this is something, our real thing, what we are supposed to do in the human form of life. Even if I work hard, I become a billionaire, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to eat two chapatis and go to shit and throw it away.
Correct.
Nothing going to different. But this is important. This I cannot do in any other form of life. So I have to make this priority and I have to find some time every day. How can I get out of this? Or what can I do better? And there are so many people suffering in this world. Whenever I meet people in the office, oh, there are so many problems. This is what happened. This thing is in a hospital. That person, and cancer is very common here. They talk like very common things, but still people, they go through this so much pain, but they accept this and they don't inquire why these things are. What is the root cause of this? We learn in corporate life to find the root cause of every problem. Find the problems what I have in my life and find the root cause of that. We don't do that. We apply this in our office. Oh, this problem happened. Just we set up a committee and we try to find the root cause of that. Why? How can we avoid that next time? But I'm experiencing this problem, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. I have to take birth. I didn't know I wanted to take birth or not. I was forced to take birth. And then I'm growing old. I don't want to grow old. Old age has so much problems. We visit sometimes, my children, they volunteered into some old age houses to as a community service. We go there. There is so much problem in old age. This sometimes it is so painful. Old life. These people are so much suffering there, and there is no exception. Everybody has to go through that. It's coming. Slowly but surely it is coming. And death, everybody is afraid of death. Even an old person doesn't want to die. He may be sleeping on the bed for months, but still he doesn't want to die. Then who is going to find the root cause of all these problems? These are real problems. All other problems are subordinate to these. So that's what is the goal of our life, and that's what we should be inquiring from. And Krishna is giving this creation happening again and again and again and again. Everything is created and annihilated, and we have taken birth and uh, died and taken birth again and died again. So yeah, there is a big message we have to hear from Krishna. He's trying to tell us.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get some reflections. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving you a very, 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 very precious thing. And the most precious thing in our life is our time.
Correct.
Yeah, Chanakya Pandit says that Ayushya Kshanaye Ekopi na Labhya Swarna Koti. Even a one moment of our Ayushya, if it is lost once, we cannot get it back again, even if we are ready to give kotis of crores of Swarna Mudra.
Correct.
So this is the most precious commodity what we have, and it has been given equally to everyone. Nobody has less time or nobody has greater time. It's the only how we use that time. So thank you for giving your precious time for this cause, and I hope it was good use of your time. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Correct.
So any reflections, Prabhuji's?
One thing I find it is simply amazing that he forces a human life where you have to live through all the kama, artha, whatever, all the four stages, yet at the same time, make time to think of why I am here. Because if you are not working hard, it is very easy to sermonize on so many things. But while you are working hard, I remember of that story where Narada's pride was, I am the best bhakta. So Mahavishnu gives him one pot full of asa tudumlela telne. And he tells him to asa 3 प्रदक्षिण करून ये. एक सुद्धा ड्रॉप पडला नाही पाहिजे. He goes around, comes back and he says, स्वामी झालं. म्हटलं हो, पण त्या 3 राउंड्स मध्ये किती वेळेस यू ऍक्च्युअली थॉट ऑफ मी. म्हटलं काहीतरी काय असं तेल भरलेला. हाऊ कॅन आय थिंक ऑफ एनिथिंग बट सेव्हिंग द ऑइल. He says, see, that is the challenge. आणि तू स्वतःला सगळ्यात मोठा भक्त समजतो. You think of it that person is doing everything, yet he has time for me. So, and I think this lesson of life is nothing but that. He makes you work with the world, yet at the same time think differently, saying, how will I exit this world differently? I mean, it's probably one of the biggest challenges. आपल्याला ऑफिसमध्ये किती कळवलं ना, they talk to you about productivity, they talk to you about time management and all these things. Actually, this, if one can think about, is probably the best. And the challenge is, as we in normal life say, the challenge is to find time. Here also, he provides the same challenge to find time. माझ्यासाठी वेळ काढ. And unfortunately, I mean, the way the world goes, एका कुत्र्याला विचारलं का तो परत कुत्रा होतील का, तो बहुतेक नाही म्हणणार. मनुष्यच एक आहे, त्याच्याकडे सगळं असून he works towards probably being born a dog again. So, that is the wonder. With all the knowledge, I sometimes, it is simply amazing. To conceive of this is a big thing. And I think whatever moment we give, at whatever stage, we are doing ourselves a world of good. दुसऱ्याला नाव हे आपला स्वतःला. बहुतेक, okay, some people might have started with hearing this after 45, after 50, 70, whatever. Better late than never. This is the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. That's a very great story. to share, and that's a great message. Thank you, Rajesh Prabhu.
Thank you.
So, Kiran Prabhu, any thoughts or?
Hello.
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Yeah. And it was very interesting, Prabhuji, message. Probably right from the day one we started Bhagavad Gita, we have to use this our life or जो काय मनुष्य जन्म मिळालेला आहे बेसिकली त्याचा आपल्याला पूर्णपणे उपयोग करून घेतला पाहिजे आणि अननेसेसरी आपण वी आर रनिंग आफ्टर थिंग्स विच आर रिअली मटेरियलिस्टिक अँड वी डोंट रिअलाइज दॅट वी हॅव टू युटिलाइज एव्हरी मुवमेंट ऑफ आवर लाईफ आणि भगवंताच्या म्हणजे भगवंताच्या चरणी ध्यान ठेवून आपण ते करायला पाहिजे त्याचं कायम आपल्याला स्मरण राहायला पाहिजे आय थिंक नुसता बोलून रिअलाइज होऊन नाही पण आपल्याला वारंवार स्वतःला त्याची आठवण करून देत राहायला पाहिजे की व्हॉट एव्हर आय एम डुईंग टुडे इज इट ऍज पर द नॉलेज विच वी आर गेटिंग थ्रू भगवद्गीता आपण त्यांच्या कुठल्या ह्याच्यासाठी करतोय आर वी डुईंग इट फॉर द सम सॉर्ट ऑफ सेन्स ग्रॅटिफिकेशन स्वतःच्या एन्जॉयमेंट साठी करतोय का इट इज समथिंग टू विच इज गोइंग टू हेल्प मी टू अचीव द अल्टिमेट गोल ऑफ द लाईफ तिथे हे वारंवार रिअलाइज होतं याच्यातनं स्टील आय थिंक आफ्टर going through so much and understanding probably we are not able to give 100%. That is unfortunate part, but I think this kind of sessions are very important so that that brings us online, it makes us realize that we have to follow this path. So it's very important and a message which we are getting again today. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for making us realize this.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, Krishna says, "Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatu." Even a small thing small little progress on this path can save us from greatest danger. So, yeah, whatever we can do, I know it is hard to find time and being practical here, but whatever we can do, we should try to make this priority. And again, we are all 50 plus now. To be honest, it's bitter pill to swallow, but we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure that life is short and the maximum use what we can do of this remaining time, whatever we have, is good for us. So we have to be selfish on that matter. So thank you. So with that note, I think we'll stop here today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Moses. We'll see you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Moses. Hare Krishna.